a chant that we say. So we talk about nationally that number 2%. And so when we come to the national convening, we might have a room full of people, and somebody might shout out 2%, and somebody says it's not enough. So we're going to exercise that a little bit this morning, reinforce that in solidarity for all of the black male educators all across the country who are working hard every day in classrooms, making it happen for schools and community. We say 2%.
Not enough.
2%.
Not enough.
2%.
Not enough.
All right. So without further ado, it is my pleasure, my honor. I'm hyped. I've been like waiting. Once I got the yes from Dr. Emden's team, I was like, yes, this is really about to happen. We wanted to bring this brother in who has been speaking all over the country. All over the country. You can catch him on a TED Talk, South by Southwest, see him on BT, see him PBS. He's all over the place because he's really championing the cause. And like I said, he represents a new wave of black male educators, black educators in general, who's taking a stance in our communities, in our schools, who are saying, you know what, 2% is not enough, but we also going to make sure that we show up as our true authentic selves every day. So without, y'all look at his bio, it's on the program, Columbia University, very decorated man. And so he's going to spit some real knowledge and truth today. I always feel like I'm at church when he speaks, so I'm kind of hyped. So at this point in time, I want you all to give it up for Dr. Chris Emden.
I got one. I think I got a laugh, so I'm good.
Cool.
Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? So I was gonna I have slides, but I might not even need them slides. I'm gonna just throw the slides to the side and follow on myself. I'm really excited to be here. I don't need this, bro. Thank you, though. I'm really hyped to be here with y'all today. I'm gonna come down if that's all right. I'm hyped to be here with y'all today because I really wholeheartedly believe so much in this initiative and what it means and what its intentions are and what its goals are. And in this place right now, also with this work, I just want to be, vulnerable with you guys where, I'm just so wholeheartedly disgusted with the language and rhetoric around the work, around teaching and learning as it relates to men of color and teachers that, I feel like I have to even second guess my own thinking with using words because I came up in a world where I knew what those words meant. And then I exist within institutions where those words have been taken and reimagined and repurposed and then given back to me as a tool while all the sharpness of it have been gone. So I'm at a point right now in my life, even words like equity, I'm like, yo, do I even want to say equity? Right? Because the language of equity has been so distorted. Do I even want to say cultural relevance and cultural responsiveness? Like one of my OGs coined the phrase, GLB she from Philly too. And even that phrase and that word and those thoughts has become part of the lexicon and teacher preparation and teacher recruitment in a way that's so problematic because folks are engaging in poor practices and saying it's culturally relevant and it's based on their perverse notions of the culture of folks of color. And then when you call them out on their practice, yo, this is not cutting it, they're like, but it's culturally relevant. I know Paulo Freire and Gloria Latson-Billings. So even the language has been so co-opted that discourse around this work is just problematic. And so because of those reasons is why my primary tool and language and theoretical framework from engaging in this work actually is hip hop. And a lot of folks misunderstand what I mean by hip hop. Emden wants all the kids to rap. They should be rapping about their English and their science. And I do projects like that. But it's really less about that than anything else. The use of hip hop and the language of hip hop and the theory of hip hop and the sensibility of hip hop and the idea of how we teach and learn to be able to recruit more folks to teaching and keep folks in the classroom and make young folks in classrooms want to become teachers is actually essential. The idea of the embracing of a hip hop sensibility as part of what we do is, I think, the fundamental piece of the work. And what I mean by that is this. Look, when you exist within the culture, there's oftentimes a bifurcation between those who do it in the academic and intellectual way and those who do it in the colloquial way. And then you have black folks who become part of this process of identifying who's good hip hop and not, right? So yesterday, everybody went nuts. Right. Cole dropped an album, Brackets is lit. And I get that, right? And I think that what we've begun to start doing is we start intellectualizing the process of what has value in our cultural expression, right? And they be like, yo, Migos is trash though. And why I think this is important for us to understand is that a Cole and a Migos are drawing from a very similar tradition that is essential to how we reimagine how schools work. Take away the lyrics for a minute and talk about the rhythm.
Right.
Y'all with me? Take away the problematic sort of ideologies that underpin it, because we could critique that later. But talk about like the use of voice as instrument and inflection and intonation. You know what I mean? The idea of taking aesthetics and utilizing that as part of your message. And I think if we want to recruit more black males to go into teaching, the fundamental piece is understanding the nuances of hip hop culture and expression, and not utilizing a colonizer's gaze to be able to demonize what's good and what's not, and ensure that when we get into those classrooms, we represent an authentic hip hopness to young folks. See, when they go into classrooms and you want them to become teachers, we got to ask ourselves, who is the exemplar of a person I want to be like in front of me first? Because all that other shit, excuse my language, excuse me, but all that it don't matter. When you talk about young folks you want them to teach, it doesn't matter who's appropriate, who's not, who's intellectual, who's not. It's like, who's the person in front of me that's showing me that this is a viable outcome?
Yes. Wow.
Right? All that other stuff is trash. Like I got a person in front of me who's a teacher. When I grow up, go to college or whatever, if that's what I'm gonna do, does this person have enough swag to make me imagine who I would want to be when I'm that age? You understand what I'm saying? So while we're so preoccupied with the notion of respectability and the black male person that you have in front of him and all that, you could be black and whack. And young folks can see that. And when they see that, that person of color in front of them may be the very reason why they don't ever want to become a teacher. Because when I come up, I don't want to be like you. And there's these new, and this is why I say using hip hop, like understanding the value of aesthetics within the culture. Like when we're recruiting educators, we talk about that. Dress. You know, when I came up and seen Sterling, his frames is lit. You see Vince, you know what I mean? He got the blazer popping. And we underestimate these aspects of the nuances of our culture because we've allowed other folks to make us believe that those things are outside of being intellectual and academic. So we don't train educators to focus on that aspect of their representation of self. So you just ignore it completely. You're like, read the textbooks, be positive, do right things, know some history. And then you get to the young folks and you're so swagless that you turn them off to the process. And I know this sounds like, Eminem be wilding, like why is he going here? And the reason why I'm going here is because I am so deeply frustrated with the fact that we keep talking about what we don't got without recognizing that we ain't even focusing on the fundamental pieces of the work. I can come here and spit some theory for y'all all day about black male achievement. It's easy to do. The thing that we want to focus on is those dimensions. Are y'all with me still? Yeah. So if we talk about all that and the hip hop stuff, then we got to talk about a little history. Damn, I done left my slides. I'm just going where my heart is taking me right now. Is that all right, though? Yeah. For the record, you know why that's important as well. All this work is connected. So when we talked about aesthetics and talking about why that's valuable, let's also talk about the art of the freestyle and why that's valuable. Right. Look, Penn School of Education is not going to teach you this. No disrespect, because I know y'all here. Neither is the Temple School of Education. What I'm telling y'all is this is the sauce, right? The idea of teaching folks of color to be able to embrace their ability to go off script while maintaining the knowledge of the script. How that is a hip hop sensibility. Y'all remember when Thought went on Hot 97 and spit for like 10 minutes straight? And everybody was like, this is the great, do y'all not know this? I'm just curious. Okay, and everybody's like, this is the dopest freestyle of all time. Can we deconstruct that for a minute? So Thought went up there and spit. The whole joint was not a full freestyle. Anybody who knows, right? I'm not trying to play Black Thought. I just want us to deconstruct this for a second. He went on there and rocked out for 10 minutes straight, correct? No gaps, correct? Some of that stuff was off the top, correct? But you couldn't go off the top unless you had the writtens to hold that down. So when anybody who rhyme you flowing, and then you hit that spot where you know it's about to go off, then you go back to your written and drop that 4 bars. That 4 bars get you back on track, and then you freestyle again. The magic of that presentation, the magic of that delivery is based on a